as a human, as a decent human, so on and so forth. You want to help your fellow humans, so on and so forth. But I think what we're facing nowadays is also, other than the danger of the natural disaster itself, but the danger of human disaster, meaning that the miscommunication, whether it's deliberate or not deliberate, the spreading of false news or misinterpretations, so on and so forth. Case in point, I think maybe all countries went through this as well. 5 years ago, when we went through the pandemic, 5 or 6 years ago, it seems like a lifetime ago. I think one of the most important things is we, as a normal citizen, we understood that this is a new pandemic. It's something that nobody knew what was going to happen. We didn't know that there was going to be lockdowns. We didn't know the world was going to stop spinning around you. But what we asked, or what we needed from our leaders, from our political leaders or our national leaders or something, was some sort of assurance. Not that they had all the answers, because nobody, frankly speaking, nobody had the answers. You were finding answers every single day. New answers, false answers, real answers, so on and so forth. But you needed that, or we needed that sort of assurance from our leaders that they're on top of it, and that they could communicate with us what is happening, frankly, and what is going on, without scaring us every day. But if I may bring up Thailand, in this case of point, my personal opinion was during the time, our leaders at the time didn't give us that assurance. There were different messages from different ministries, different messages from different leaders of the government, which caused more confusion over the fear that we had already, because we were at home. All we had was watching TV. And I think that is what made, what caused, if you want to call, unnecessary tension in the country itself. But again, to be fair, I understand it was a new pandemic. It was something new that nobody knew what was happening. But what we need from leaders is clear communication to assure that the government agencies or the people in charge understand the situation as best they can and are handling the situation. Instead of one message from this minister, that message from another minister, and it's all conflicting today and another message tomorrow. So I think in this day and age of communication where there's more avenues of communication, sometimes maybe it's a good thing that we do have this access to information, but it's a bad thing because all the information is unfiltered. And so now it causes more confusion amongst the public who are already weary. Case in point is floods. Like there's going to be certain agencies or certain people online that say, floods are coming today, but they don't come today. Floods are coming tomorrow because I heard from this person, that person. So sometimes maybe centralized, clear-cut, precise, concise communication is one thing. It can't solve everything, but it helps alleviate confusion and tension from the public to a high certain degree.
Thank you. We need clear instructions, not confusion. We already have that. Thank you. Other members? Please? Yes, please.
So just now I pointed out, like the massacre of the Koreans during the Great Kanto earthquake, disasters can divide us due to misinformation at the time of the disaster. But the disasters can also unite us through the ethics of trying to overcome disasters together.
Yes.
We should follow the latter path. Latter path being we can cooperate in order to overcome disasters together. Thank you.
Thank you. A united panel.
So far.
Surichai, please.
Can disaster unite us? Can disaster unite us? This is a very important question. I think I learned a lot from listening to Mr. Hiraoka, because this is what happened quite a while ago, 1923. So now we are 2025. To look back and look critically to the history so that you can face what were the problems of miscommunication. Today we are familiar with, a little more familiar, because of social, what is called AI, what is now, we are somewhat empowered, but easily misled. So it is even, the context is even more challenging. So the issue of being to look back, maybe it helps to be detached a little from the existing context, which is easily polarized. Looking back, so I value this reflection, and as I really appreciate the sense of looking back and also critically examine why the disaster could not unite, but rather divide and exploited by certain way of political manipulation of some kind. So I think, I just would like to say this part. Secondly, having heard this in the light of the desire for the regional, not only national response, because we are feeling that increasing disaster these days, and I think we can learn from what happened in the Philippines. We are also affected by the same typhoon, whatever in the region. So in a way, the regionally interconnectedness of our experience confirmed that the call for regional spirit is even more necessary today than in 100 years ago. But the point relates to, can we really see that the disaster unite us? That relates to what kind of politics are we living with disaster in our country or in our region. So the politics of uniting through, say, suffering together, or the politics of blaming, looking who to be punished beyond the sense of we need to look into who are affected together. So in that sense, what I heard from the mosque sharing experience of Japan and China also remind us in Thailand that at that time no one really know how to deal with the COVID in Thailand in the first phase. But certainly the first phase we tried to vaccinate, yes, but then because we have so many undocumented migrants, so the slogan soon became, if they are not safe, we are not safe. Very fortunate that we learned through they, I mean the migrant workers from foreign countries, neighboring countries. So in that sense, I think in some way the vaccination efforts were not planned early on, but along the way the safety, the health safety through the vaccination experience help us to learn that the documentation, documented or not undocumented, are not the say the principle anymore, but the safety of everyone who are interacting in the society. Somehow, I think that we in Thailand learning this, but how to bring that part that Japan and China with the mask experience, and how to bring that moments of learning in the Thai case to remind us that the politics usually in the context of facing disaster easily are not easily along that line, but so oftentimes turn to the blame game politics, punishing the others rather than how to work together. So I think that those stories are powerful enough to share more.
Thank you, Emma.
The politics of constructing solidarity is a very challenging one. As the earlier panelists have said, disaster at the beginning brings people together to respond. And this happened in Cebu, of the flooding of so many towns because they have destroyed the mountains, quarried, they have mined, deforested, and building high-end subdivisions in the mountains. So the outpouring of support, united, national, local, regional. But a week after, it entered into the idea of who is accountable, whom shall we, so I went down there and basically worked with the Cebu Citizens Initiative towards flood resilience, who basically said, we have to examine why, all this destruction of the uplands leading to them. So I would say the politics of construction and really how fragmentation of politics can undo the emerging collaborative spirit and the idea of caring for each other. So right now, we're really, I would say, learning from other countries. I'd say, there's the outpouring of support for each other in terms of humanitarian care. Then the second phase of what do we do now? What do we learn from this? So it enters what I call, the political interest, the politics from the private sector, government, a community, is under disarray. And what I learned in Cebu is that there's an emerging coalition of civic social organizations saying, stop it. All of us are accountable, and we must own it. And if you don't recognize your own part of construction of the problem, and our consumption status-driven lifestyle that lead to, extractive resources, then you cannot be part of the solution. So we're at that stage now that the civil society are saying, look, the bureaucracy is guilty of the tyranny of compliance. They just comply in terms of, what the building code is and like that. But really, the fragmentation, the civil society is saying, we should not be victimized by the fragmentation of political interest. We, as a people, as we always say, Cebu is special. It's our only home. And therefore, we have to work together. So we have to appeal to those energies for solidarity, for caring for the environment, for caring for our people, and hopefully the government and, when you say government, and the private sector will know, as I always say, you have to invest, the private sector to invest in building the resilience of the people, because how can you continue, how can you have business continuity if the people are not able to respond proactively? Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Akane-san, as a young person of a newer generation, do you have hope for our future based on this morning's discussion? And if you have hope, why? And if you don't have hope, why?
This is a very difficult question because actually I also study environmental science in my background right now. So I often hear so many things about climate change, about natural disasters, all these problems in the world. And even just yesterday there was the COP30 held in Brazil, and even though all of us know and we are facing all these problems right now, sometimes I still can't believe the lack of cooperation that is happening, because the stakeholders or governments, they simply just don't agree. But I still, through my studies, I still try to have hope and try to believe that our future still has hope. That we can, even though many people in power now, or many governments, some countries are not cooperating, or they even deny the things that are happening right now, I still want to believe that there's hope. Because many people, the people know what is happening. We have social media now, we have more connection than ever now to learn and reach out to each other. So even though in the higher levels, maybe there is still lack of cooperation and there's still much more room for improvement in order to improve our future, or to work for our future, I think because of the resources that the common people have now, we have the chance and hope that people can work from the bottom up to cooperate, to have empathy, to support each other, to learn more about each other, to see each other. So that's the reason why I think I can still have hope.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the panelists. I'd like to pass it to Miwako for closing reflections. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Can I just add another group of actors? Because we talk a lot about governments and people, and that's the private sector. Just two things struck me. Is it right that we've just had a global pandemic, and we had two pharmaceutical companies that made astronomical profits worldwide, when their products didn't even live up to the billing?
It's immoral.
And also had some side effects, which people are still studying. We talked a lot about misinformation. Do we really believe that all the tech, the platforms, the owners of the platforms are taking enough responsibilities to help us cut through all this misinformation? And even industries like banking, insurance, are they structuring their products in a way that really help the disadvantaged enough? I think these thoughts should lead us to maybe think about the action that might have to be taken to bring the private sector also to help solve these problems.
Thank you. We are going to have, in fact, a paper on the pharmaceutical industry during a conference, and I think it's very interesting for this. I believe I passed to Miwako, who will decide if we have to postpone or can have it.
Yeah, actually, we are running out of time, and we have a conference from 1:30. So maybe
1:13.
1:30. So.
We never covered AI, so I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So that's something that.
So yeah,
I mentioned AI.
You mentioned AI.
To some, yeah.
About data.
Right, but the fact that eventually, so AI is like really. They talk about like maybe in 2000, like maybe 3-4 years, we're going to have AGI. That's pretty much given. That's the argument right now. So how do we, so moving forward with disaster control and disaster relief and, helping out people. I'm actually an AI builder myself, so I think more about individuals and family units. And that kind of like we can actually move the political differences and disparity and that sort of stuff away from eventually the autonomous decentralized organization is also, there's a chance that it could potentially, for smaller countries maybe, in the beginning, replace government. So those are the things that you have to sort of see this whole thing holistically and understand how we could approach. And I was wondering if, as an AI builder, I was like really interested in knowing.
thank you very much for your insight.
I think come in the afternoon and we'll look at the title of the topics, because AI and all these questions, we have more questions in mind. As human beings, we should have the question of what sociology is. We should have more questions than answers as policymakers, as we create a research policy nexus to learn from our mistakes. We have to reflect on this. So please, in case you haven't thought about coming this afternoon, please come. We have a bit more time and reflection, and together we need to find the solutions that are realistic and practical. And we have a special opportunity today with the two former prime ministers and people from many walks of life in the room who couldn't speak. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. I have nothing to add. I was just the housekeeping matters. So after the conference, we will move to the IOS Nevada Cho. This is a different building from here. So we have a navigator, so please follow the navigator to the venue. And there we are preparing for lunch. Thank you very much for your attendance, and thank you very much for everybody, especially for Mr. Hideo and Mr. Hakusid and the panelists. Thank you very much.
So to the end, could you please come here?
Zoom meeting was set. We're going to close it.
皆さん真ん中の方に入っていただいて。いや、皆さん奥に入っていただいて。奥でいいですか？じゃあ、いえ。
Have the two former prime ministers sitting. We stand in the back.
So everything is and that should be like
So maybe everyone come and find Please come if you want to take in a photo. Please come.
I sit too long enough in the break. Use it.
No. You should. You want to sit separately?
Yes.
I will send this picture to